Hey actors, today I'm going to share some framing tips and lighting tips for framing. I said I would do it in the last video when I was talking about how to watch yourself back, and then I totally forgot. So I am going to give you a couple of tips on how to set yourself up for success to create a flattering video or audition. There's basic rules about being lit, blah, 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 but honestly, a ring light and some sunlight is going to do a good job. Here's how to make it really, really work for you. If you're working with a phone and a ring light, I would recommend an 18-inch ring light. A smaller ring light doesn't, it's too focused, I find, like the beam of light, so you kind of want it a bit wider. Put your camera, as much as you can, in front of a big window. So ideally, behind this camera, there would be a big window. Because natural light is 100% your best friend. Then you can fill with that beauty light or that ring light. So this is the cheapest setup I'm talking about. I'm talking about a phone and an attachment inside, the ring light in front of a window. Make sure if you can, you tape all your tapes in the sunlight. But that's just going to be the easiest way to flatter all skin tones and do the least amount of fussing with the lighting. So there's rule number one. Rule number two, depending on your level of investment in the art form and your budget, I always think a 50mm lens is the most flattering lens. I can also control it, so I'm gonna reach in here and show you how I can change this frame, right? And in a on a phone, it's very clunky. Also, I find that it's wider, right? So I just have a EOS M50 $600 camera that I use, but the 50mm lens is really the thing that I think is the most flattering. Again, if your budget permits, soft boxes, especially if you are in Toronto, Vancouver taping and the sunlight kind of disappears at part of the year, soft boxes are really great. So what I have found, and anyone in lighting can make a comment, is that I want the softbox to be above my light. I don't want it underneath me. I kind of want it going over my head, like the top of the softbox is taller than me. So the light isn't coming kind of this way. I depend a lot on sunlight because I'm not a lighting person and I love sunlight. I love how natural it looks. But softboxes are really, really great too. You want them above, and you want one, if you're not using a ring light, you want one that's kind of working your face and one that is working the back wall and kind of like dusting off the side of your face. More light is often more flattering. But we're looking for flattering realism, so you don't want to blow out the lights too much. And I've definitely been guilty of that sometimes, but I'm also white, so I reflect light very aggressively and it can look really blown out. So you just want something natural. And then another thing to do is to make sure that you are not underneath your reader. So I'm not very tall, and I tend to do this, and it's not flattering. So what I want to do is I have these like block heels that I use so that I'm taller and so that I can talk with a natural kind of tilt in my chin. I'm not aiming to go like this, but I don't want to be looking up. I don't want the camera up my nose. So to do that as well, you make sure that you're not taller than the reader, and then you make sure that the barrel of the camera, or where the camera is going to be about here. You want it to kind of, when you walk up to it, you want it to line up about there. That's going to create an instant kind of flattering angle. The rest of the framing and everything else, we do want to keep the eye line close to the camera. But I do kind of like just like a semi-45, as long as my eyes are close to there, so you can kind of work that out for yourself. Me personally, I mean, once I've framed it, I don't want to think about the camera at all. I just want to do my job. I don't care what my face does. you know, I'm acting, I'm not a model, I'm an actor and I'm doing that job, right? So set and forget is kind of my rule, but I do like to set myself up for success overall. So those are my little tips for where to position the camera, where to position the lights, setting yourself up for success so that you can set it, forget it, and crush it. Hopefully that was helpful.